Jayne Donaldson. You would like to know if anyone can get anything on your brother, your younger brother, John Mcmurchie, I think that is there. Notice there's a link, a Facebook link. Jayne's a member of the free psychic readings group on Facebook, so with me copying and pasting the stuff from there, it is a sad reminder, isn't it, that these people were there and you could speak to them. And the profile is there from where they left it. And anyway, she just wants to know really if he was, what was going on, because she wants. Apparently he was murdered 7 years ago. His killer is still out there. Anything, no matter how little you'd be most grateful there, and that's it. I wouldn't know. I wouldn't rest in my bloody bed, actually, Jayne. Quite frank with you. As he called my brother. He lived in Dundee. The murder took place. The murder took place in Dundee. So if anyone can get any help there, if any help can help, if any can help, correction. So what we're going to do, we're going to try and help here. Normally we use these mediumship cards if we want a message from the other side in general. And these provide, like they've got like statements on them, sentences, and spirit helps when you shuffle them. We don't manipulate the cards, but spirit, we shuffle them and spirit manipulates the cards and places them in order. I suppose a bit like tarot, isn't it, in the sense that tarot is placed in order according to your supernatural side of you. But because we ask for the spirit of whoever it is to join us, then the cards are shuffled, and in this case, John Mcmurchie there, John, he will play, I suppose you could say impregnate it with his energy. I suppose you could say that, couldn't you, really? Now he's going to do that. We're going to do that with these mediumship cards there. But we're also the thing I'm interested in are these here. They're called Konxari cards. Konxari, as in X, as in Z, as in Xena, or you know, that sort of, the X is the Z, isn't it? So that sort of thing. And they. Konxar, the word Konxar is Egyptian for talking to the dead. Now, it's okay, we can use the Ouija board, I suppose, a spirit board, but when we use Konxari cards, we put the spirit board away, because these have they have keywords on them, and they have letters and numbers, and maybe at the end of it, when we've got the cards. We can lay them out in a row, and there might be a little anagram there, like an anagram game type thing, that John might leave, and there may be like a hidden message in there or something. There are also cards in there such as that point to how the spirit died. So we can. They're usually used in haunted houses, these cards, because, or anywhere that's haunted really, because you don't know the name of the spirit in that sense, and they'll tell you what, you know, what they're feeling, or what you know, what's going on, and things like that. They're a bit like Ouija plus, whereas Ouija is dowsing plus. I always call Ouija dowsing plus because it's yes and no plus the letters and alphabet and numbers and whatever. I tend to call Konxari Ouija plus, so it's like one level up, in the sense that there are some cards in there that are not nice, and there are others that are nice. Depends what energies there are, and that's why I want to use the Konxari cards, because if John is going to speak to us via these means, he will not so much, yes, he could spell it out on the spirit board, and we could all sit around the table and tra-la-la-la-la-la, or even just I could try, you know, we could just try solo or whatever. But with these cards, it's a bit more in depth, as you'd say, and John can use some of the cards there to say what's going on. Anyway, we're not going to waste any more time, because fortunately the camera is all wired up to the mains, so I'm not going to run out of power, because sometimes I've done readings with this camera and been using battery power and the bloody thing ran down. And so anyway, we're here really, aren't we, in memory of John Mcmurchie, regardless of what happened. But we're going to try and find out just a bit more than normal, instead of just a message just to see how he's doing, and which we're going to get from these. We're going to have Konxari, and we'll do the Konxari cards first. First of all, though, just so John has some time, we can sort of dedicate some time for him. I'll just turn this hourglass here, mainly because he tells me roughly when the files on the camera. You go roughly about an hour and a half, something like that, with an MP3 file. So no, that's not too bad, is it really? So we'll start that off, and we've got an hour. So John's got the floor for an hour, hasn't he? As near as damn it. And as soon as the sun runs down, then we'll try and bring the setting to some. I'll just place that over there, just so I can see it. There, and it's just started there. So what we'll do now is I'll just move these mediumship cards over here. And I'll just John Mcmurchie, we know that there. So of course this isn't a reading. The Konxari cards, they don't read us. Like I'm not doing a reading for you, Jayne. This is not your reading really. It's a reading for you, but this is really, in the sense, think of the Konxari, they don't do readings for us like tarot and runes and things like that. Konxari does readings for them. So we're doing John's reading really, and we're observers, and anything that John is feeling or wants to message, he wants to put over, he can express it through these as well. As I just use the mediumship cards as well to sort of get some sort of message as well, a bit of a conversation going as well. But just for now, I'm going to settle down. I'm going to shuffle these cards, and as we shuffle the Konxari cards, we just invite John to our setting. Spirit of John Mcmurchie, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, John Mcmurchie, through these cards, and move among us. Spirit of John Mcmurchie, we ask for your presence. We'd like to know, we want some information, if you can tell us a bit more. Now you're in spirit, John, if you can let us know a bit more what's going on in a bit more detail than normal. And I ask that you commune with us through these cards, John, through these cards, and move among us. Spirit of John Mcmurchie, we ask for your presence. Commune with us, John Mcmurchie, through these cards, and move among us. Blessed be to John Mcmurchie and all absent friends. And we just cut the deck there, and that's where it's thought that John will now have left his message. Now we've just got the cards here. Now what we're going to do next, we're just going to ask also Spirit of John Mcmurchie, we thank you for your presence, we thank you for your time, we thank you for your energy. We ask that you commune with us through these cards also, and leave a message for Jayne. We ask, Spirit of John Mcmurchie, we ask for your continual presence, that you commune with us through these cards, these mediumship cards, and move among us. Spirit of John Mcmurchie, we ask for a message, we ask for your presence, a message for Jayne, and we ask this in the name of truth, right conduct, peace, love and non-violence. And blessed be to John Mcmurchie and all absent friends. And we'll just place the deck there again. Where the deck splits is where that deck is also where John will have now left a conversation, you could say, couldn't you? But first of all, we're going to investigate what's been going on. The reason as I said before, the reason I want to do these Konxari is because there is a query of how it happened. We know who we're communicating with, but we don't know what happened. And hopefully now John may, if not exactly say why, he may give a clue to why, so he can help you. A bit like the story of when the waterfall, there were hands coming through the waterfall, and then somebody went and looked behind the waterfall, and they found a body. So it was as if the spirit was saying, give me a decent send off, I'm here. And this, in a similar way, I suppose, let's hope John, if he can beckon to us through these Konxari cards, because if he can do it through anything, he'll be able to do it through these. We're going to lay out the cards now in order, in a special type of order, and we place two in the middle. I'll just place them together just for now. They're supposed to be a part of it, but just for now, I'll just place them together because of what we do next. And we place, there's four in the middle there. Four in the middle, and then what we do, we go around. So we start at the top, 5, 6, 7, go round in a circle, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's a bit like a clock face, isn't it? That is. And now what we do next is very important, because we, at this stage in this layout, we're not supposed to see four cards. The card of the north, south, east and west. So when we flip the cards, we have to make sure that we do not flip those cards. Out of safety, as you could say, just if there's such a thing, out of safety, just so we don't accidentally flip them, we'll remove them. The reason we have to remove them, or the reason we can't see them, we do this out of respect for spirit. Nobody actually knows why. All we know is we have to do it out of respect. If you want to look at these cards, don't look at them. Out of respect for spirit. We do this out of respect for John. So we'll just now remove the four. What I'll do, I'll actually remove them in the order they were dealt around in the circle there, like that. And then we've removed those. So you've got like the cross in the middle with the diagonal. Now with these here, we're not looked at them, never to see them. So we place them underneath the deck like that. And I'll just probably pop the deck, I don't know where can we pop it, just there maybe, I don't know, can you still see here what's going on? I'll just pop it there just so you can see that. So anyway, what we do now, we just neaten up a bit, and we I suppose, just out of respect for John, it's nice to just to bring things into some kind of ship shape and Bristol fashion sort of layout there. Right, okay, so this is the everything that's going on, these sort of cards here, diamond. Now we have to now, what we're going to do is flip each card in the order that it came. So it'll be that one, 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 and that one there. and then we'll see what the mediumship cards say after that. Of course, just before we commence, of course, John, just once again, John, we welcome you to our setting. We thank you for your time and your energy and so on. And let's I know what we could do, just to protect ourselves, I suppose. We could place this little destroy all evil and a little prayer wheel there. We could probably pop in the centre of the spread there, couldn't we? That'll just help balance the energies off, I think, a bit, maybe, just in case there's something there. So what we'll do then, we'll pull out the first card. Let's just flip it nice and slowly, and then we'll see what it is. And then I'll have a sip of my coffee. There's an interesting card for you. A third eye. If you can just see that there, the third eye. That's interesting. So we have to go by what we feel and what we think John is saying here. Well, the third eye, of course, and also you've got the Eye of Horus and the number 3. I suppose that could be linked to the third eye, but that's an interesting card, isn't it? Because it's the third eye, really. It's the invisible eye in the middle of the forehead, isn't it? The one we use for inner sight and whatever, and we can see things going on there. And straight away I'm sort of getting this sort of feeling as though maybe he's saying, you've seen me maybe in your mind's eye, or you've been using your third eye, or I have spoken to you, I have appeared to you. I'm not going to put my strong reading glasses on, just so I can just see this here, the layout there, just so it's a bit clearer now, isn't it? See all the dust now. Can't we, John? We can see all the dust. But laughing and joking apart, of course, yes, he's just really saying that the third eye is very much in use right now, and it's maybe, I suppose, if you meditate a lot or something like that. I got a funny feeling as though if you meditate a lot, he'll communicate with you. So I want to now just pull this next card out here and see what any connection here, what that may be, because every time a card comes out, it can actually literally change the whole thing. About things. Let's just see what this is all about here. Auto writing. There's an interesting card, isn't it? Auto writing, and that's the moon and the letter L. I've got one of them just here, actually, because apparently with Ouija board it's the thing with the hole in the middle, isn't it? But the original auto-writing planchettes, of course, had this one you stick a pencil in it, and it, you just tighten it up there and move about. And I tend to find it draws more than writes, though. It's more auto-drawing than auto-writing, strangely enough. And that's got like little ball bearings, little spring-loaded ball bearing type things there. So auto writing, I don't know if you practice auto writing, or if that's something that maybe you look into. I got a funny feeling he's saying use your third eye here, Jane, and just sit with a pencil with paper and just let it flow, and I'll speak to you. Or maybe if you've written something down and wondered what that said or why you did it, it was me, Jane. That's what he's saying. That's what I'm getting from it. Isn't that strange? I should think that. Maybe because of the third eye and the link with the third eye and the auto writing there. I wonder now, have a look, see what else is going on. This other card here. we'll just flip that over and just see what this is all about. That's interesting, isn't it? A secret. Secret, an arrow pointing down in that case, and the letter G. Remember, with all these letters and numbers and things, we can try and join them together and see if we can get anything from it. Straight away, when we place the card down, I don't know if you noticed there, of course, you've got the third eye, the number 3, and so far we've got auto writing the letter L, and then of course the letter G. They might not mean anything, they might not mean anything at all, but who knows. Let's see what's going on. Oh God, something's frog in my bloody throat now. Oh, you get something in the back of your bloody throat, don't you? I wouldn't mind, but I've just had an Indian takeaway, so there's nothing really to get in the back of your throat, is there? But back at this, notice I always tend to focus on the cards with the arrows on them. In this case, the arrow's pointing downwards, isn't it? Notice. It's pointing to this card. I want to know what the secret is about that card, and we'll wait till when that card comes up. We'll see how that secret how it sort of relates to it. In the sense we know that John was murdered, sadly murdered there, and of course, yes, okay, who's done it as a secret? Maybe he's saying a secret. Maybe the answer is there. That's the secret. But through auto writing, I can communicate with you and tell you about that secret. The third eye, I can communicate through auto writing the secret. I can communicate the secret through the third eye. And you see the link there? You just have a look at it and you can see, can't you, there? I don't know if that means anything to you. I'm now going to pull out this card again. I'll just see what this one is here, and then we're going to move around to see what else is going on. And this is opposite the secret. This might hold a clue to something or other. Mirror. The mirror. Not a mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them? It's not me. But as long as you know that, you can get over it and move on, can't you? The letter X and the and Gemini there with the hand in the mirror there. So it seems as though the secret may be seen when you look in the mirror. I don't know if you've seen. Have you seen your brother John, Jayne? Just to you there. Have you seen him when you've been looking at yourself in the mirror? Have you suddenly seen his reflection and look behind you and he's not been there? Maybe. He speaks to you through the third eye and through auto writing. Does he speak to you through visions as well? Using the mirror as a form of... When I think of scrying mirror, I always think of like a witch's mirror, a black mirror, obsidian. If you've got any obsidian that you can probably use, you can get it pretty off eBay and on Amazon there. You can get a block of it or an obsidian skull or something, or just paint a picture frame black on one side, let it dry, and then put the paint on the inside and use the black the black mirror to scry with. It's actually better than a bloody crystal ball. I don't know what the issue is with crystal balls. I've got a few, and they're really not as good as black obsidian, actually. It's grounding obsidian, isn't it? It protects. In this particular case, though, mirror, I got a funny feeling as though the secret is communicated as you, I suppose, getting ready in the morning or whatever it is there, Jayne, with seeing yourself in the mirror. You'll see him behind you, or you'll sense him behind you and look and he's not there. and he speaks to you through the third eye. Remember, it's your third eye that'll see in the mirror, or see with the auto writing. It works so that, and the secret can be conveyed and revealed through these channeling. Notice how John, thank you for this, John, because you're providing really a hint to what tools to use. Really, we've got auto writing, and we've got a mirror. And they're all sort of, and the third eye, of course, other than meditation, when you're half asleep and whatever, and if you want to do drumming or whatever, I don't know, whatever it is you want to do. But either way, you're really offering up. I suppose you're stating the obvious, aren't you, John? Really, about the channels in which to communicate this. Whatever the secret is about your death there, John. I want to now move on though, John, to this card. We're going to see what Jayne, trying to tell Jayne see what we get from this. Maybe you, Jayne, can have a look and just see what you think of it. We'll just flip it though first to find out what it is, haven't we? And there we've got the lateral fire illness there. I don't know what this is all about, but certainly illness. I don't know what this illness is. What's this to do with illness? Why is illness suddenly cropping up there, John? What's mentioned about the illness? You were murdered, and obviously you've given us the channels that we can use to are you concerned? What is it? Why am I getting sort of? I'm just thinking. When things just come to mind. It's dangerous, that is. Start smelling burning rubber when that starts happening. You've got problems, haven't you? Sorry, John, but I've got a sense of humour. Why is it I'm sort of on a serious note though? Why am I sort of thinking? Notice how the string of the prayer wheel is pointing that way as well. I'll have to line that. Why am I sort of thinking as though John is concerned about your illness, Jayne? I don't know if it is a mental illness or a psychological thing. It made you ill, or this. I'm sure it would have some psychological effect on somebody. That's just sort of, even just assumption alone without cards would say that. But maybe John is just saying he's concerned about illness, or there's illness surrounding this. I don't know. He knows it's making it. It's as if he's saying, I don't know if you were getting this, Jayne, but it's as if he's saying, I know this is making you ill. I know this is. It's making you bad, as we say down here in Staffordshire. I know it's making you bad, but I want to pull out the next card. Just notice the illness is connected to the third eye and the mirror there. I don't know if by looking in the mirror you can see yourself, as opposed with it being a reflection. You can sort of maybe spot any illness if you're pale or whatever. You might notice, other than you can only see it when you look at yourself in the mirror. Because maybe other people are too afraid to say, or maybe they have said. I don't know. I want to flip this card here now, and I want to just see what it is. That's it's upside down, that one, isn't it? But it goes like that, so because we flipped it like that, didn't we? So that one is the end, and the oh, got a number, the number one, the end, the number one. So that's if that's of any interest to you there, Jayne, that's what he's just pointing out, the end. The end is in, you see the end in the mirror, auto writing. Well, it's as if he's saying the way I ended, or my end, can be conveyed through the mirror. If you see me there, I can maybe lip read to you or speak you know, whatever. Or use auto writing if you've never done it. Try it. Don't knock it till you tried it. And I will convey through that the end. And the end is opposite this one over here, isn't it? I'm interested in what that is. But we now remember the secret that's been conveyed through this concerning the murder there. I want to now pull this card. This is going to be an important card. I somehow feel it is. I don't know why. I just somehow feel it is. And we're just going to flip this card over here. Woman. And like the Ankhs, the Egyptian Ankhs, and the number, the letter S. Sorry, my bloody mistake. I'll just hold it up there just so you can see that. Because with some of the video quality, especially on Facebook, you can't really see it very well, can you? So just hold it up there and then. Woman. The secret of woman. I don't think he's so much saying a woman did it. Could be. Could be. But I got a funny feeling as though he's just saying a woman knows who it was. The secret, the arrow pointing toward the woman. As if she knows, she holds the secret. Or the key to the secret. Maybe if that woman is you, Jayne, in the sense, not that you've done it, in the sense that you know through your third eye. And you were the woman. But then again, there is a sister card in here that would may point to that, wouldn't it? So, but nevertheless, I just got a funny feeling as you're saying a woman knows the secret. Maybe the last one to see him alive was this woman. Auto-writing, try auto-writing, he's saying try auto-writing. But with the third eye you can see all sorts of things. In the sense, sometimes your imagination can literally cloud your judgment, can't it? But the illness there is in the way. I know that when you look in the mirror, Jayne, he's saying, I know when you look in the mirror you see the illness that's come from this, it's made you ill. But the end, you will know the end, the woman can convey the end or something. What's that about there? If that woman is you doing the auto-writing, or if it's a woman, I don't think this woman is you, Jayne. I want to think it's you, so I can say that woman can do auto-writing and find out the end, how it ended. But I don't think this woman is you. If it is you, then she knows in her third eye and can use her third eye and use the mirror, or scrying mirror even, witch's mirror, black obsidian or whatever, to scry. But I don't think this woman is you. I think this is another woman. It's the woman who was the last, if not the woman or the person who was last to see him alive, at least the last woman to see him alive. Now, was that you, Jayne, or who was that? I don't know. I'm going to pull out the last card here. I want to see now what this is. Because this is next to the secret in the third eye. This may have a link to that. Always, notice there, always, and the letter I. I'm just looking at the screen, just I can hopefully that you can see it as well. There, can you see that? Let me just. Out of the way.
21 hours.
Always. And notice the symbol of infinity there, of course. You see that there, the symbol of infinity? There's a number 8 on each side, as you often call it. That seems to be significant always. Just the blue, the sky blue, and the third eye as well, with that sort of sky blue connection. Always the third eye. It's always the third eye, Jayne, that I can communicate with you, if it be directly through the third eye as you meditate, or if it be through through the mirror when you see me in the reflection and look behind you and I'm not there, or sense my presence. I can convey that secret to you, even if it be through auto-writing. I can convey the end. Always I can convey the end through that means. Because the end is always there. Like the beginning and the middle is always there. But the illness may be stopping you. I know that you're not very well. I know that you're not. I know that you're bad. I know you're not very well, Jayne, and I know that may mar or may cloud your visions. But this woman, I want you to know, Jayne, there's the woman. The secret points toward a woman. She's the key to it. Who's accusing people here? Are we accusing a woman of doing it, or are we just saying that the woman knows who it is? But I think when you find out who it was who did it, Jayne, John is saying really that you'll find out either he was a woman who did it, or a woman who will be the key, maybe, who goes to the police, or who will give the secret away. One can start surmising, can't we, like ex-girlfriends or sisters of God knows what. We can surmise. That's unhealthy because yes, it may be true, but nevertheless, you'll just take a look at this, Jayne, because John is speaking here. And they don't. The Konxari cards don't disappoint. They do speak. I'm going to pull out a message card, a mediumship card here, just off this deck over here, and we're just going to flip to see what message he's got for you, in the sense of just a sentence that we can paraphrase. He's just saying, I'm just a thought away. Isn't that strange with the third eye? Just think about me using the third eye to communicate with me. I am just a thought away. Isn't that just really that's saying it, isn't it? That's virtually the first mediumship card that John has left for us, right where the energy is its strongest, where the deck was cut, is the third eye. I'm a thought away. Remember, it's the mind that sees, isn't it, Jayne? Your eyes don't see. Even when you look in the mirror, your eyes aren't seeing anything. It's the mind that sees. The eyes are just a tool for the mind to use. And of course, what's the difference that the third eye sees? It's just the fact that you're not using a physical eye. You're using your psychic abilities. John is communicating because it's a spiritual thing, and John is in the spiritual realm and will use spiritual means to communicate, and supernatural. Because remember, all these cards, be they tarot cards or runes or mediumship cards, Konxari cards, Ouija board, whatever divination tools we use, we just have to bear in mind that we have a twin destiny. We have a natural destiny and a supernatural destiny, and these cards lock onto our supernatural destiny, and they provide the key to the answers we can find. But he's just saying that I am just a thought away, Jayne, and you know that. Just think about me and I'm there. And this reassuring that, John, isn't it, really? Because I suppose, yes, stating the obvious, but sometimes you have to do that to get it through to some people, including myself sometimes. It's easy to be cynical, isn't it, John? What else are you just saying? I'm just to pull out three, like beginning, middle and end. He's just saying, really, my death was painless. Please don't worry or hold on to guilt. He's using that card as if to say, I always like to think that says the point of my death was painless. Because that's really what it is. I'm just a thought away, Jayne. The point of my death was painless. I saw the light, as you can see the light when you focus, if you're a light worker or whatever it is. And I see that light is the light of the world. universal light, the occult, a lantern of occult science, the lamp, as Crowley calls it, the fifth element, or the connection to the fifth element, and there, of course, is, I'm just a thought away, but please don't worry or hold on to guilt. Don't blame yourself, Jayne. This is not your fault. What happened to me was done by somebody else, and I keep thinking he's saying it's something to do with that woman. That woman, he keeps saying that woman. I keep hearing that in my head. I don't know, is that the third ear? I suppose, I don't know, is that what it says, the third ear? I suppose in a way it is, isn't it, really? So there you go, a third eye and a third ear, but we've only got one mouth. So maybe there's a clue there, isn't there? He's just, what's this here? Is that clear enough for you or not, Jayne? He's just saying, don't be afraid. Don't blame yourself. It's not your fault. The point of my death was painless. Just know that I went to the light, and I'm just a thought away. But whatever's going on here now, with all this here now, this reading here, don't be afraid. I'm trying to let you know it's that woman. That woman. He may have referred to her as that woman. Even if you were that woman, maybe he's trying to pass a hint that you have the answer within you, even. But either way, you have the answer within you anyway, because he's just a thought away, and you can communicate through auto-writing these. He seems as if he's saying, I prefer you to either use the auto-writing or the mirror. That's the best way. You might not have tried auto-writing, but he's saying if you haven't tried, give it a go. Don't knock it till you tried it. And of course that's it, isn't it? So I'm just a thought away, and of course the point of my death is painless. Don't worry, don't hold on to guilt, don't blame yourself, but mainly don't be afraid, because I'm relying on, exactly as I said, I'm relying on you, Jayne. I'm relying on you to get me justice. That's what he's saying. Why am I thinking that? I want to pull out this other card because I want to know if is that right, John, or not. I'm relying on you to get me justice. That's what he's sort of as if he's saying. I see all of your thoughts. So not only am I just a thought away, I see all of your thoughts, Jayne. I know what you're thinking. Good and bad thoughts. I know what you're thinking. And don't worry. If you want to say you're sorry for something that you aren't to blame for, say it. It doesn't matter. But either way, I know what your thoughts are, and we can communicate just by me even knowing that I'm on the spiritual realm and I work through your third eye, and I know what your thoughts are, and you can communicate with me. Remember, through auto-writing, or even just looking in the mirror when you wake up in the morning, when you're half asleep at night or in the morning or whenever. Half asleep usually does work because we're connected to the astral plane then, aren't we? We tend to leave a body. It's often, I've done it myself actually, although I didn't realise it, but I read about it as well somewhere, where somebody was walking home. They were tired, really tired, and they're walking, and all of a sudden they saw somebody walk ahead of them. And then they caught up with them again. It's as if their astral double left the body carried on walking, and then they caught, the astral double joined back up with, about like the film Negative, isn't it, the astral double? And the astral double just joined back up with the body again, like an elastic band, just boing, boing, and then back again. Because you're falling asleep, so you just sort of leave. Because when you fall asleep, your astral double, you ascend, and you float above. Your astral double floats above your body, and it's then when you can, maybe when you've been dreaming, he speaks to you in dreams as well. When you've had dreams, remember, they might not just be recollections in the mind of the things, sort of like a product of your environment. Remember that he could also be him. It is him, always him. Eternally. Notice the yin and the yang there. I've only just noticed that myself. The yin and the yang on the end there. So although it's the end, it's actually the beginning, isn't it? Because how do you know what the end is if you don't know what the beginning is? And how do you know what the middle is if you don't know what the beginning and end is? It's but it's like as if the photograph there's like a pathway leading into a fog, through a gate into somewhere. I don't know. Why I'm thinking of that, I don't know. It's like as if it's leading somewhere. Is there somewhere you know where there's a... Why I'm thinking of that. Why am I thinking of that? Take a look at that picture, Jane. What do you think of that? It's like as if... it's like as if John is saying it's somewhere in the distance, like through a gate somewhere in a property. And although the light is above there, and what's that about? That woman. Is it something to do with that? I don't know. And now I think what we're going to now do, Jane, if you don't mind, John as well, of course, John. I think it's time we were to wrap up now, and we thank you, John, for this, for joining us and sharing with us, and sharing with Jane, and the message that you really is strong, isn't it? It really is intense. So it's food for thought, isn't it? So if you can save the file into your save the web page as, and then you should grab the video from that in the Facebook_files folder in the downloads. I think it is on mine anyway. So anyway, that's neither in nor there. That's putting that aside, because when we do readings, of course, we do computers, because we've got to sort of transfer all these files over when we've done these readings. But John, you probably knew that as well, because you were on Facebook. We've got your account there in your memory. So I think in memory of John and John to you there, again, we thank you for your time. We thank you for your energy. We really do thank you for this. We hope that you can. We hope that you've managed to get your side of it over. If you get, I mean, you've had the floor and so on. The hourglass actually is only about halfway run, I think. So we haven't done too bad, really. You haven't taken that long, John. So. That's not about time, is it? It's not about quantity, it's about quality. And I do feel as though maybe there's something from this. With that then, what we're now going to do, we're just going to gather up John's cards, mediumship cards, the messages, the conversation type cards there. Just put them inverted, and we'll just place them under the deck. I won't clear them or anything yet. We'll just place them under there. And now what we're going to do, I'm going to gather all these cards up here, and then we're going to lay them out in a row just in front of you there, Jane, just so you can see them. And we're just going to lay them here on the deck and see if there's anything you can get from it. So what we'll do, I'll just move this deck here, because we don't really need that there anymore, do we? We can pop. I can just have a look there so I can see on the screen as well. Can you just see me think? Yes, you can. So let's just line in a row. So just make notes here. We've got the number 3, the letter L, and we've got the letter G there, so that's those 3. We've got the letter X. This is an anagram for you, John, isn't it? And then we've got O there, and the number 1. The number 1, the letter S, and finally the letter eye just there, if you can see. Can you? Yes, you can. You should be able to. So I'll leave that with you, Jayne. That's I suppose, not a secret message, but the hidden message. If there's one in there, if there's a clue, like a name, a place, or even maybe the name of that woman, or I don't know. This is time for you, just for you to see what you think is going on there. And for now, again, we thank you for your time, your energy, John. And we say love is the law, love is the bond. Merry did we meet, merry do we now part. And merry may we meet again. Blessed be to John Mcmurchie and all absent friends.